everybody. My name is Lily. I will be your host at the Ladybug Laboratory podcast. This is a vlogcast all about knitting, sewing, crochet, various crafty exploits I find myself getting up to. You can find me on Instagram as ladybug.lily, and you can find me on Ravelry as ladybuglily. There is a Ravelry podcast group, which is where we're currently hosting a knit along, and all the information for that is in the group as well as on Instagram under the hashtag. I'll be talking about the knit along right away. I don't have a big topic for you guys today, so I'm just going to show you, we're going to do admin and talk about the knit along. I'll be showing you the new prizes for the new segment. Then I'm going to talk about my FOs, my whips, some sewing, and then I'm going away for a fairly hefty amount of travel for most of the month of October. So as a little bit of admin, I don't know if I will be able to record again in October. It might just wait until November for me to record. If that's the case, I will let you know on Instagram what's going on with that. But yeah, so I'm going to try and record in October. Can't guarantee it, but because I am traveling, I go through and I show you what my knitting plans are to take with me for the traveling, which is sort of like a maker plans segment that I kind of stole a little bit from the Quirky Monday Craftcast. Hi, Cleisha, I don't think you watch, but if you do, hi! You're awesome. Yeah, so that's all that I have for you today. I'm just drinking water, and I'll see you in the next segment. Alright, so some announcements. We have a make-along happening in the group right now, and that is the Tiny Makes Cal. I'll put the hashtag down here. And anything that is small, so mochi mochi, or for a tiny human, or tiny mammal, qualifies for this make-along. So baby clothes, baby blanket, mochi mochi, anything like that. Yeah. And so last episode, I drew the prize winners for the September prizes. Now, I drew nearish to the end of September, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw mid-November-ish. I will give you a more specific date here because I'm trying to work toward the beginning of the month. But when I draw in November, anything that has been posted yet so far is eligible. So, with one exception. So if you posted in the chatter thread in August, okay, that's eligible to win. But if you were post 14 and post 14 won last time, that individual post is no longer eligible to win. But anything else you've posted is. So the sooner you get it in, the more chances you will have to win. I will be drawing 3 prizes. I'll be drawing one from the chatter thread on Ravelry, one from the finished objects thread on Ravelry, and one from the hashtag on Instagram. Yeah, so go ahead and get those in, post about it, talk about it, anything you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and show you what the 4 prizes are going to be for the November draw. So, the first prize for the November draw is the unclaimed prize from last round, which is 5 skeins of Debbie Bliss BFL DK in this yellow colorway. It is, where's the yardage? Come on now. It's 100% wool, 108 meters to 50 grams. Okay, the second prize is this skein of yarn. Now, this skein is from Globe Inn, which is a fair trade company. And so it's not a yarn company. This was hand painted in India, and it is made, it says it's made from a sari, but it feels very cottony and linen-y to me. It's got this cool little chain, sort of. Basically, the effect is that the yarn is a tiny I-cord. I can't get it to focus. It's these beautiful pinks and purples and blues. That's about right color-wise. 100 grams and about 300 yards. So yeah, this is the second one. The third prize. Oof. The third prize is a Never Not Gnoming kit of your choice. Your choice of colors. And this is the Never Not Gnoming pattern, so I will send you the pattern. It's by Imagine Landscapes, and I will send you all the yarn that you would need. And these are the yarn options I have. So you can do, like this one I made, you can do the same color for the hat and the body, or you can do different colors for the hat and the body. And then you'll want a contrast color for the beard and nose and hands. But these are the colors that I have. So I will put a better picture of these in the Ravelry thread when it actually comes time for you to pick. But this is sort of like a light tan, a blue. I've got a bunch of reddy ones. This is like a pinkish red. Or this one's more of like a deep, rich red. Yeah, that's right. This one's more of a pinkish red, like that. And then this one is an orangey, rusty red. And then I've got a purple and a gray. Yeah. So, oh, and I have this one as well, this bright red. So you get to pick your colors for that, and I will bundle that up. I will send it to you. I will give you a digital copy of the pattern on Ravelry. And then the last prize is 100 grams of fingering weight minis, and you get to decide whether you want 10 gram minis or 25 gram minis or whatever it is that you want. And I will just go through my stash and come up with the best I can for you. You can tell me what colors you like, all of that. So yeah, those are the prizes for this upcoming session. I hope you guys get them in. As of right now, I am the only person that has posted on the hashtag on Instagram. There will not be a hashtag prize if I'm the only person that has posted. Just for the record. All right. All right. Yarn finished objects. I have 2, and I'm gonna be honest. I've only been in my new schedule for a couple episodes, but I've been trying to record at the beginning of the week. And the reason this one did not get recorded at the beginning of the week is because I was desperately trying to finish one of these so that I could show it to you. So my first finished object this week is my big bad coat. Oh my goodness, is that not the most adorable thing that you have ever seen in your life? So this is the back. I blocked it a little funny here, but that's fine. It just finished blocking, so I'm gonna just dampen that and flatten it out. But oh my goodness! Okay, so I love the finished product. I hated every minute that I was making it. So I had talked about this last time, and the pattern was just really wonky. I tried to put it together. So last time I had finished the 2 fronts. I was working on one of the sleeves. I think I was about here on the second sleeve. And I had to finish the second sleeve up the top and then do the back. So I did that. And I will put a picture here of what it looked like when I was trying to sort it out. And as you'll notice, I posted that picture on Instagram. As you'll notice, the neckline doesn't exist in that picture. That's because the original pattern, it was flat across the neckline, and then it was supposed to come over here and button on this side, like right here, like 2 little buttons, and then just like be open at the top. I'm not really sure. Like this, the fact that this was not closed was supposed to be the opening. and it was gonna be way too small for her. And I mean, now that it's blocked, I can see how it might have fit, but it was just gonna, it looked like it was not gonna work. So, and it was also just really weird. And the tops went really high up, like they were supposed to be shoulders, but they weren't supposed to be attached here. They were supposed to be attached like to each other. I don't know. And it was also, it would have been like this. It was really weird. So what I ended up doing is I ripped out the tops of both fronts, and I just basically made up my own pattern. So the normal pattern calls for decreases over here, and I just did decreases on both sides of each of them. I somehow ended up making this one row shorter than the other one. I do not know how, but whatever. And then I just put a button there, and of course now I don't have a buttonhole on the other side, but that's fine because it's like, it's got this loose. So I'm just using this as a fake buttonhole, even though it's just part of the pattern. So yeah, I grabbed a random button from a little jar I have of a whole bunch of buttons that don't have their mates, and here it is. I really like it. She's gonna look super cute, and that is what matters. So this is my Big Bad coat. It is for Big Bad Con. This also qualifies for our make along. This is our Tiny Makes Cal. And it also is my Lambtown top. I'm not making a Lambtown top for myself. I'm making one for my daughter, but that's fine. So this is her Lambtown top for Lambtown Sheep and Wool Festival. I forgot to mention, that pattern was the Crocodile Stitch Mandarin Coat by Bonita Patterns, and I used a 3.25mm hook. And my yarn was Knit Picks Chroma. And the Chroma yarn is single ply, and I wasn't able to seam with it. It kept just tearing. So I ended up just seaming with like a black fingering weight yarn. And I mean, you can see it, but whatever. It's fine. Okay. The next finished object is one that you have not seen as a work in progress for probably about 2 years. That's because it was a finished object. So these are my Red Dragon socks. So I made these for my brother for Christmas a couple years ago. And I had made him a pair of socks for Christmas and one for his birthday. And sometimes he gets a birthday present, sometimes he doesn't, basically. If I happen to have made an extra pair of socks that year, I'll give it to him for his birthday. And so he tried these on, and I talked about this, I think, when I last did them, but the socks felt like, something felt really wrong. It felt like, and I basically, what I ended up realizing was that I had used size 3 needles on the first sock and size 4 needles on the second sock. And so the second sock was way bigger. And I had fit the first sock to his foot. And so when he tried them on Christmas morning, the size 4 needle did not fit at all. And so what I ended up doing is I just got out the pair of socks that I brought with me to give him to open on his birthday. And I was like, these are your Christmas socks. I'll fix these and give them to you next year. So I fixed them and gave it to him this year. Skipped a year. But yeah, so in the meantime, since you have seen these, in the last 2 weeks, what I did is I frogged the one, and you can see, I mean, my gauge has changed. So this was the original size 3 needle sock. This is my new size 3 needle sock, and I definitely have a tighter gauge, but it's a lot closer to the original than the other one is, or was. So what I did is I frogged the size 4 sock, I soaked the yarn, wound it up again, and then just knit from it. And I ended up using this much less yarn. I mean, it was like 3 grams. And over here you can see these are my leftovers from those socks. But yeah, so I did that because it just, I knew I had to get it done by Christmas, and it gave me some vanilla knitting to work on, which is great for going places. And DK weight socks work up so fast. Like, oh my goodness. So, yeah. That's that. I forgot to say that this is the Vanilla is the New Black pattern by Anna Fletcher. All right, so let's talk about my Yarny works in progress. So the first one is I am making the Crocodile Stitch Booties by Bonita Patterns. And these are to match the Crocodile Stitch coat that I made. I'm calling these my Big Bad Boots, unsurprisingly. I'm using a 3.25 millimeter hook and that same Knit Picks Chroma fingering yarn. And here they are so far. I just have the one. So it started here, up and around. This pattern is going much better than the other one. The other one went... It's easy to understand the stitches. I did not have any trouble with the crocodile stitch on the other one. I did not have any trouble with that. What I had trouble with was the construction of the coat itself. And there were a couple places where, like, the numbers didn't line up. But there was a schematic given for one size and not for the others, so I didn't know what the size comparisons was. And the schematic was, like, over several pages and the drawings were split. And then it also it just had, like, diagrams of the sizes of the pieces. It didn't tell you how you were supposed to put them together, so I was very confused. But the actual crocheting part was not as bad. This one's going great. So far it's been very clear. There's only one section where I feel like it could have been more clear, but then I turned the page and the picture answered the question for me. So yeah, they are super cute. They are going to fit her for Big Bad Con and not much longer. But yeah, it is living just in a yarn bowl, because more brain intensive projects like that tend to live, especially if they're from wound yarn like this one is, because this is from yarn that I wound off in the middle of the coat to make the colors match. So it's just a little ball. But yeah, they tend to live in bowls for me. Because I don't do them on the go, so they don't really need a bag. And also, despite the fact that I have bucket loads of bags, they're all in use. So I need to work on that. So my next work in progress has my little pins on it. It says Roll 1 for Mental Health, Social Justice Cleric, and a D&D Pride pin. Okay, this is living in my Earl Grey. Okay, I can't open this. I knotted it. It's living in my Earl Grey Fiber Company project bag. There we go. Which I just love. I love the cork bottom. So, this is my Golden Autumn hat by Lucy Sweetland. You've seen this hat before. I was just starting the patterning when you last saw it, and now I've done almost 3 repeats of the pattern. So, I absolutely love this. I'm loving this hat. I am making this for the BIPOC Make Along that's happening on Instagram, hosted by the BIPOC Makers Instagram account and Desamore Designs. And the hashtag is BIPOCMal2019. It runs beginning of September through beginning of November. I don't know the exact dates, but it ends November 4th. Yeah, and I'm really happy with it. I'm doing this on my Chia Goo interchangeables on US 3s and US 4s. I'm also making this as a shop sample for the Black Squirrel Berkeley. So yeah, this is a folded brim, so I did a contrast DK weight yarn for the inside of the brim to see if I could get it out of one skein, because the pattern calls for 2 skeins. And I'm going to be cutting it really close, but I think I can do it. I did some math the other day. I think I can do it, but I'm going to be cutting it close. So, okay, 2 more works in progress. So this one is living in my Catstellations project bag, although it's probably going to move project bags soon. This one is also for several knit-alongs. So this is the Little Brother Romper by Petite Knits. I'm using a size 8 needle, my Chigu Interchangeables, and I'm using, doing the 6 to 9 month size. Now, the yarn that I'm using is Raspberry Fleck, and it's an Aran weight wool. It is not quite as pink as it's looking on screen, but it is pretty pink. It's kind of, you can't see, look at, yeah, it just looks gross on the screen. It's got this like beautiful flecky tonality to it. So my aunt got me this when she went to Ireland. So yeah, it's very warm, it's very rustic. And what I'm knitting is I'm knitting a little romper for Gwen, and this is going to be for Christmas. Now she's going to be 6 months old at the beginning of January. So I'm doing the 6 to 9 size. She's a tall baby, so a lot of things are not fitting her lengthwise, but they still fit her widthwise. So I'm hoping that this will work. And we're moving to Boston, so she's going to need something nice and warm. Because it is pretty rustic and scratchy, I would only put it on her like over a onesie and leggings so that it doesn't actually touch her skin. It's just for warm. But the pattern so far is really great. They have the little sister romper, which is in fingering weight yarn, and then they have the little brother romper, which is in worsted or Aran weight. So I am doing this as part of the Cover Your Ass Cal, which is hosted by the Knitting My Shit Together podcast, which I mentioned last week. And basically it's any pattern that covers your ass or someone else's ass. But the official Cal pattern is the Elizabeth Zimmerman's nether garments, which are basically long underwear. So if I'm doing something like this, I can't just make one because that's way smaller than what everybody else is doing, right? So I'm either going to do this and make myself a skirt, so that's 2 ass covering projects, or I'm going to do this and then just do the long underwear. I haven't decided. I might end up doing all 3. Who knows? But this one is going to be for Christmas. Now their knit along ends March 30th. So it's a 6-month knit along. It just started October 1st. It's a 6-month knit along. So you've got plenty of time. So yeah, so I'm going to make this first, make this for Christmas, and I'll decide based on where I'm at if I want to try and do the nether garments or try and do a skirt. Yeah. I might do both. Kind of want to do both. All right. I have one more work in progress, which you will see now and not again for a long time. Because again, I have to finish Christmas knitting. Literally just the cast on. So this is the Ripple Bralette pattern, or I'm sorry, the Framework Bralette pattern by Jessie Mae Martinson from Jessie Mae Designs. And I am using yarn that I used for my Eason shawl is Magpie Fibers Swanky DK in the Masquerade colorway. And literally all I've done is a tubular cast on. I'm probably going to connect it, but then that's it. And the reason is because this pattern, first of all, is adorable. Secondly, it came out on September 27th, which is my birthday. And so I was like, I clearly need to do this as a birthday cast on. I'm going to use stash yarn. It's so cute. So cute. So, yeah. I am pretty excited for this. I'm probably not going to wear it as a bra. I don't know if I'll ever even wear it, but it's really cute. So I'm going to make it. So let's talk about the sewing projects that I have. First up, I do have my Razzle Dazzle quilt. I have made a very small amount of progress on it. I'm not going to show it to you because I'd have to hold it up like this and you couldn't even really see the progress anyway because it's stitch in the ditch. Um, it is over there. I have quilted some. I have some other sewing projects to show you. So, I had a yard of this flannel, and I say I needed more baby wipes. I don't actually need more baby wipes. I would like to have more baby wipes to have in the containers I made ready to go, so that I don't have to pack fresh ones every time I want to leave the house. So, and a yard of flannel makes about 20 of these. They're 8 by 8 inches. So, earlier this week I was up at the Black Squirrel and I was using their serger, and the serger broke, so I didn't get a chance to finish them. So most of these are serged on 2 sides, 4 or 5 of them are serged on all 3, but they're just 8 by 8 inch squares that I just finished off with a serger. I may or may not be purchasing my own serger. I have not decided yet. We'll see. But yeah, there's those. And then the other thing I did was a little bit of an impulse. And I had this pile of flannel that I hadn't used that I was going to take up with me to the shop to make some more wipes. And in that pile there were these 5 receiving blankets that a coworker got me, and they were far too small. Like a normal swaddle blanket is 45 inches by 45 inches, and these were about 20 by 20, maybe 25, and they were just, they didn't cover her up at all. And I happened to have one lying out, and I had it lying out next to a burp cloth that I had. And the burp cloths were about 19 inches long. So I was like, huh. So like kind of the same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what a burp cloth looks like. This particular brand. I mean, a bunch of them are different, but these are the ones that I had. They're long. You probably can't really see it, but the middle is a double layer of fabric. You'll be able to see it better on this side. And there's just seams down here. And then the top edges are serged. And I bet you I could make burp cloths out of those receiving blankets, because I don't need 5 receiving blankets and a yard of flannel worth of wipes. But I do need more burp cloths. So I did it. So there are 5 of these, 2 white ones, which were kind of my test ones, so some of the sewing lines are a little bit wonky. But basically what I did is, it was a square, and I cut off the bottom of the square, and I used that to make extra in the middle, and then I folded it. And I just sewed 2 seams down here. And I tucked over the edges when I sewed them in. So this is my practice, so it's not great. And then I had, like, the edges were all wonky, and I literally just serged the edges off at the Black Squirrel. So I did these first before I started the wipes, so I was able to finish them. And it was like this total impulse thing. That morning I was like, I bet I could do that. And it was 2 seams per, and then the 2 serge lines. So I tested one, it worked fine. So then I just did the other, and that's literally 10 seams and 10 serges, and I was done. So I've got 2 white ones. There was one that was just gray stripes. There was one that was yellow stars. And my favorite one, I am going to spread this one out so you can see the pattern a little bit more. Just like moons and stars and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm really happy with how these came out. I have used them. They work great. They are not quite as absorbent as the other ones, and I don't know if that's because of the type of flannel that they are, because the other ones are flannel too. Or I also know some cotton-based fabrics become more absorbent the more you wash them, so it could just be that I've used those other burp cloths for the past 3 months. I don't know. But I'm pretty happy with those, and that is what I have for sewing. So, I am going to be traveling for most of October. As I've mentioned in the past, we are moving. We are moving in December across the country. And so, starting October 10th, I'm going to be at a gaming convention. I'm going to be running a game there, but I'm also going to be mostly playing games. That goes until October 13th, this Sunday. October 14th, we're flying across the country. October 15th through 21st, we are looking at houses, hopefully putting in an offer on a house. That would be great. October 22nd, we are flying to Florida, where all of my grandparents are. And then October 23rd, we're seeing one set of grandparents. October 24th through 25th, no, 20, yeah, we're seeing another set. And then October 26th, we're seeing a third set. And October 27th, we're flying back and we have a layover. So it is going to be a very hectic October. That's basically 2.5 weeks that I'm gone. Almost 3. I mean, gone is a little bit relative because, like, we come back from the game convention home and then we fly. But I've been trying to sort of plan out all the knitting I can do that is plain, mostly vanilla, boring knitting during that time. So here's what I have. Number 1, I have my romper. Here's the thing with this, is that this is going to be great for the knitting convention. It's going to be great for while we're in places. It is not going to be good for flying because it's bulky. It's Aran weight yarn, which is unfortunate, especially because Gwen's going to be on my lap. But it's pretty plain vanilla knitting, so I'm going to bring it. All right, the second thing I'm bringing is my Golden Autumn hat. I just want to get it done, and it's going to go in my checked baggage, and I'm going to finish it someday while I'm sitting at my parents' house, because we're not going to be looking at houses all day, every day, right? Like, we have a week there, and we'll go to one showing this afternoon, another one tomorrow morning, like, so yeah. All right. This contains a new project to cast on. I'm going to be using this yarn, which is a self-striping yarn from Rock and String Creations. And it's called Good Vibrations, and it goes blue, green, orange, purple. This is for my partner. I'm going to be casting on the Heel Toe Do-Si-Do socks by Crazy Sock Lady Designs. I don't have a picture printed, but they're super cute and they're made for self-striping yarn. So they're also mostly vanilla. There's a little bit of patterning on the front, but it's mostly vanilla. So that'll be nice. In here, I have patterned socks that I've been working on for almost 2 years. I finished the first sock. Never went back into the second. So these are my Shirt to Gall socks. Last time you saw them, I was there. I did not realize that I hadn't shown these to you. Yeah, so I don't know, do I count that as showing her? I'll leave this for now. But yeah, these are also for my husband. So I have the pattern. I'll be able to cast on the second sock and do that. It's not a difficult pattern, so it's something I could do while looking at watching Gwen, but it's not something I could do while, like, walking. I have these, which are completely vanilla socks. And I don't know if you've even ever seen these, but these are my Campfire S'mores vanilla socks for me. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to bring these or not, because I don't think I'm going to need them in terms of knitting, but I might need them in terms of vanilla knitting. But this is Campfire S'mores. It's also from Rock and String Yarn, and I've just been using my 8-inch circular in the Lone Larches Studio bag. Oh, I haven't been talking about the bags. It's fine. I'll talk about them when I use them. Alright, and this is my Bling Your String Ladybug bag. And this doesn't contain a project. It contains a whole bunch of scrap yarn. This is how I'm going to bring it with me. And I'm going to use those other bags as I finish those projects. So, what I have in here is these two are DK weight yarns. And I'm going to be making mittens for Gwen. Because again, Boston, cold. And so I can use scraps for that. And those are going to be for my Cal, of course. And then these ones are all fingering weight. And I'm going to be making socks. Also for Gwen. Yeah, that's everything I'm bringing with me. So I'm pretty sure that'll get me through. I mean, in the event that it does not get me through, it's fine. I can go buy more yarn. But, yeah. Alright, let's talk about life. I don't have a ton to say about life. I mean, I already mentioned that I'm going to be gone for most of October. I have also kind of given up on finishing my quilts before Christmas, because I'm starting to be really overwhelmed with all the packing I have to do. Packing is becoming a really big deal. So that's about what's going on in my life right now. Yeah. I don't have anything intense to talk about today. Don't have any big topics. Just recording and getting back to packing. But I am still looking for topics to talk about. If you have suggestions, please let me know. Tell me what types of topics you like. Do you like intense ones? Do you like knitting related ones? Do you like silly ones? What do you like? Yeah. And I guess that'll be it for today.